This is Roman Micah reporting from the North American Auto Show in Detroit. I'm going to try to bring you some of the most interesting cars along with some of the most interesting new products of the year. But before we get to the new car models, let's start with the concept cars, which seem to involve a lot of men dancing that were either dressed or half-dressed, introducing the new car. Like this Volkswagen concept coupe with much sharper lines and a much smaller nose. You could be looking at the future face of Volkswagen. Over at Mini, more dancing men and even a dancing shark, which drove out the new Mini Beachcomber concept, which is loosely based on the upcoming Mini crossover.
We have more ideas in the pipeline, and 50 years on, I think the story just begins.
There's a lot of excitement around the Mini Beachcomber. As you can tell, it's a pretty interesting and fun car. Will it make production? Well, time will tell. Over at Cadillac, no dancing men, but they did roll out the new Cadillac Xts concept, and General Motors CEO Ed Whittaker decided he had to try it out for himself. This new premium Cadillac does come in all-wheel drive and hybrid form, but GM doesn't expect to sell a lot of the electric ones.
If you look at the total U.S. market, despite everything you read in the press and see on television, it's only 5% of the people that are really interested in hybrids or who are interested in paying a lot of extra money to have better fuel consumption.
GM also rolled out the Granite concept, which is an example of the company's new urban industrial design. Does it feel urban or industrial or both to you? But before I get to the new model introductions, let's check out the hybrid and electric cars. Here I am at Electric Avenue at the North American International Auto Show. This is where they showcase the most interesting and newest electric cars. Probably the most interesting of those is a new Nissan Leaf. Nissan was one of the only large manufacturers MIA at the show, so when they brought this Leaf, well, I figured it must be important to their future as the car is scheduled to debut this year.
This is a pure plug-in, better electric car, no tailpipe, no emissions, no oil, no gas.
What about the new Tesla S? Are you worried about that? That's pure electric.
It's $50,000 or $60,000, so they'll have their market niche, which is probably a lot smaller than ours.
And speaking of the Tesla Model S, here it is, up close and in person, with a range of nearly 200 to 300 miles on a single charge. But don't get too excited. This model won't see production for at least 2 to perhaps 3 years.
We have the infotainment screen is going to be very cool. It's not turned on right now, but if you look inside there's no buttons and knobs. Everything will be on the central screen, which will be pretty amazing. I think right now we're sort of comparing it to what you see on the iPhone.
The car that will be available this year is the new Honda CR-Z. You remember the CRX? Well, this is Honda's 2011 hybrid version of that car.
Everything is aimed towards a more sporty driving experience than the Insight. Whereas the Insight's designed to be the most affordable hybrid on the market and provide good value, this is designed to take it up kind of a notch and kind of get the blood pumped.
In terms of gas mileage, expect high 30s. And get this, the CR-Z will even come with a manual transmission for when you want to shift the car yourself and have a little bit of fun the old-fashioned way. And of course, not to be left out of the party, BMW is at the show as well. And guess what? They unveiled, you got it, an electric car. So what makes this BMW 1 Series different, besides the fact that it's got blue stripes around the tires? Well, it's got an electric motor, and it follows in the footsteps of the Mini E. Okay, so it's not a BMW hybrid, but don't worry. In fact, BMW has a whole series of hybrids here in Detroit, including the X6 hybrid and the new 7 Series hybrid right behind me. And of course, Audi's not going to be left out of the electric party either. They showed up with their brand new e-tron, and as you can tell, it's creating quite a stir. Okay, perhaps I was the one that was creating quite a stir, especially when I went in the basement of the show to test drive one of the mini electric cars that they had ready for journalists on a test track underneath the show. So one of the things you can do here is get to drive an electric car, but in order to do that, you have to prove that you're not drunk. Unfortunately, all I've had to drink this morning is chocolate milk. So let's see if this thing measures for chocolate milk. I do it?
Zeros.
Doesn't measure for chocolate milk. I guess I can drive. Now that I've been fully breathalyzed, I get to drive the IME. Let's see if this is a real car or toy. Come on with me. First impression? It's a real car. Unofficially, this car does 85 miles an hour. Officially, we don't know. And we won't find out on this course. Mitsubishi is in the process of test marketing the IME in New York and California. It might be coming to a town near you. You know, I'm impressed. We had 3 big guys in a very small car. We all fit. Car didn't break down. Felt like a real car. Not bad. And you know what? There's more than one kind of electricity in the air here at the CT&T electric car display. This plethora of small electric cars comes from a Korean car company that hopes to have its electric cars on your street being used by the police or even the local meter maid. And the most fun car award of the show has to go to the CT&T multi-purpose amphibious vehicle right behind me. So we've checked out the concept cars, the hybrid cars, and even the electric cars. Let's now talk about the good old-fashioned gas-powered cars. Perhaps the most significant new car introduction is the Ford Focus, which will be built and sold around the world by Ford.
In fact, Focus will be a fuel efficiency and CO2 leader in every market around the world. As Derek pointed out, Focus is loaded with fuel-saving, emission-reducing technologies.
Here I am in front of the new CTS-V Coupe, and as you can tell, I'm doing it old school. The pros, they have photographers. Me, well, I just have my right arm.
This is the 2011 CTS V Coupe. It goes into production this summer.
You know what? This is probably a good time to crank up the music and check out the hottest, the fastest, and the most expensive cars at this year's Detroit Auto Show. Okay, this is probably as close as I'll ever get to the new gull-wing Mercedes SLS, but I gotta tell you, up close, it's a lot better looking than when you see it in photos. You gotta love the Italian manufacturers, or in this case Chrysler. It's not just about the cars, but also about the beautiful women. Nice accessory. Okay, so I have to admit the best looking model of all was found at the Honda Element display taking a short walk on their catwalk. Or is it dog walk? You know, perhaps this is the best way to end this highlight show by ending on the Lexus Lfa. There's nothing that this Lexus does that's any faster or better than the Nissan GTR, but it's just so beautiful. In the same way, there's nothing that Detroit does that's any better than all the other auto shows, but there's just something special about being here.